My name is Shelley Blond, hello, and I am the original voice of Lara Croft for the Tomb Raider games.
If you do want to find out the latest news from Comic Con, please subscribe below.
I've got to start by saying, how did you get your role?
As the voice of Lara Croft?
Yeah.
Well, I auditioned for it. I heard that they were looking for the voice of this female character for a game, and they'd been searching for the voice for 9 months and hadn't found her. So I was new to the business of voiceovering, and I decided to make a tape and send it in. They heard it, they liked it, and I got the job a few days later. That was back in the days when you had to put your voice onto tape. Now you don't do it on tape, you send it in, via a JPEG. So I had to press play and record and do the lines, send it off, wait a few days for it to arrive, and then they heard it, they liked it, I got it. And to be part of something that's still so huge 22 years later is something I'm really, really proud to be part of.
Do you know when you did the voice?
Yes, for Lara Croft.
The voice.
Yeah.
How long was you actually doing the audio?
I went into a studio for 5 hours, so that's all it took. And there were a lot of lines. Welcome to my home. I think I'd better get out of these wet clothes now. All sorts of direction lines. But what took the most time were all the sound bites: the screaming, the dying, the falling, the hitting, the hurting, the being hurt. All that. That took the most time, and that was very taxing on the voice. All the screaming. But it was 5 hours in and out, and that was it. And it's 22 years later, and we, and I still go around. They've done a Tomb Raider suite where the gentleman Nathan McCree, who wrote the music for Tomb Raider, performs with the Philharmonic Orchestra, and we go around and meet the fans who specifically love the classic games, the first 3 games. And that's the question they always ask me: how long did it take you? They want to know, because they sit playing the game for hours, but how many hours did it take you to record that? And that was 5.
Exactly, because the thing is like, as you're talking, I can actually remember
Hear the voice.
The game. Like I am old, a lot older than that. You might not think
Me too.
I might not look it, but I am old.
You're 23, don't lie.
Yeah.
If a day.
And as you just spoke then, I was like, a big smile.
You recognise
come
the
on me,
voice?
because
Yeah.
it was. So to say that it just took 5 hours,
5 hours,
to me that's remarkable.
Yeah.
Because
I think it'd be longer, wouldn't you?
yes,
You would think it would be
really
longer.
would think it were longer, because
Yeah.
I spoke to other voice actors before, and they've turned around, I was there and we were at it all day, and we were there till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're thinking, whoa, so 5 hours.
Yeah, but
Exactly. Like you could say, hey, and they'll go, no, I don't want it saying like that. I want it, hey.
Yeah.
Do you watch a program called Toast?
Yes.
Whenever I see the voiceovers, and Clem Fandango through the wire, but Stephen Toast doing a voiceover, it's so real. They want it all so many different ways. You can see him getting more annoyed.
I've had people
Toast, you gotta
direct
check that
me,
out.
and they said that's wonderful, but could you do it a bit more red? And what's red? Do it a bit more red. Okay. Yeah, really weird direction.
It's really straight. Has anybody got any questions?
Did you have any idea how popular the Tomb Raider games were going to be as you were doing the voiceovers?
Do you know, I'm not a gamer, so I have no clue about video games, and certainly 22 years ago I had not a clue. And even Eidos, the company that put out the game, they didn't realise how successful it would be. They'd only done children's games before, and they said, we're hoping it will be big, what we don't know, and if it goes well, we'll do another game, perhaps. But we just didn't, in the first few months, it sold 44 million games worldwide, and it just blew up, and they didn't, and I certainly had no clue, how successful it would be.
Say it really was.
If you'd have known, you'd have put your feet up.
Yeah.
Too right.
Too right. And had loyalty every single year.
You were saying about the sound effects that you have to make.
Yes, sound effects.
So when you were screaming and when you were in a sort of a dungeon or something,
yes.
Did you actually were you thinking of a situation that you had been in when you were screaming?
No.
Not
Now,
really?
when I've done acting roles, yes. You go back, you use method. What would I have done then? What did I do then? But for Lara, it was really quite easy. They showed me pictures. They showed me stills from the game or drawings, so I could very easily see and just Scream. It was it was quite simple. It wasn't the same as doing. I put my all into it vocally, but it wasn't the same as doing an acting role. Well, it's also the face and it's also the body, and it's it was just
If there was any film or TV series that you've ever been for, and you've gone, God, I wish I'd have got that. What is the one that really stands out that you've...
John Voight steals it, doesn't he?
Yeah, steals it. That's one thing I'd like to be in. But I've been very lucky that everything I've wanted to do, I've been able to do. So like when I used to be on the West End stage, singing and dancing, did all that, and then I got into presenting TV, and I did that for children and more teen programs, and now the voiceovers. I mean, you can't get a better gig than Lara Croft of Tomb Raider as a girl. So I'm very lucky that every single job I've wanted to, Peep Show, Cold Feet, all that. I've been very, very lucky.
Last question is, what would you say to people who wanted to do this as a living? What would you recommend, apart from don't do it?
I was going to say, bog off, it's my gig.
Yeah.
There's enough of us, go in. My name's Sam Coleman, I played young Hodor in Game of Thrones.
My name's Frank Jakeman, and I played the Vale Lord in Game of Thrones, the last episode.
When you see this film, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be the new Star Wars fan-based film.
This is my first Comic Con, and it's been fun. Different, but fun.